Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Who Wanna Argue. We back at it. Trying to get y'all a video a week or so. Kind of good timing right now. The All-Star break for the NBA is about to happen. So, we're going to talk about the standings currently at the All-Star break. The midway point of the season. A little over it, actually, because there's like 30 games left post All-Star break, 20-something. So, I'm going to go alternating East and West. I'll start with the worst teams. We'll go from the last seed all the way to, we'll go from the 15 seed all the way to the 1 seed on both sides. We'll alternate back and forth. Currently, the Jazz and Clippers are playing right now. So, just since we have a West game on TV right now, it's like 11:45 right now or so. Let's start with the 15 seed in the West. Pelicans are a tough team, actually, to really dive into. You look at their roster top to bottom, it's not a bad team. Just traded Brandon Ingram to the Raptors for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and I think a pick. Not a bad trade. I talked about it in my other video. If you want to go check that out, I will link it in the description. Great video if you want to check it out. But this roster, top to bottom, is something. I don't know. Jose Alvarado's one of your point guards. I think, they still got Jordan Hawkins. They got Brandon Boston. Jamal Cain's on that team. I didn't even know that until I looked 15 minutes ago. I'm scrolling through right now on their games they've lost, and they lose a lot of close ones. They're not a team that gets blown out consistently. Trey Murphy's having a breakout season. He just had a 9 rebound, 11 assists, and 18 points in their win over the Kings in overtime. The Kings are one of my most confusing teams in the league. But, Pelicans just put up a nice big win right before the All-Star break. Hopefully some momentum going into the All-Star break. They had no Zion tonight. Trey Murphy likes to play better without Zion. I don't know how much they mesh well together, because when Zion plays, Trey Murphy has to play more like a 3-and-D and less of a scorer, and I don't really like that. I like when Trey Murphy has the ball in his hands. He's actually becoming a really good facilitator night in and night out. DeJounte Murray is out for the season. That trade just looks worse and worse every time I look at it. But the Spurs are benefiting from it. And then you look at it, the Hawks didn't benefit from trading DeJounte to the Pelicans. It just didn't work. I don't know what Zion's future is in New Orleans. They are very much so in that Cooper Flag sweepstakes, Ace Bailey sweepstakes, Dylan Harper sweepstakes. Rest up Dylan Harper. Hope he's doing well. I feel like if I'm the Pelicans, this offseason we're looking for a trade suitor for Zion. If there's a possibility of that, it kind of has to happen now. Zion is just progressively getting more injury prone. They're not even letting him play back-to-backs anymore. I just don't think... I understand it. He's injury prone. Don't play him on back-to-backs, but he's your star player. You just traded one of your stars. One of your stars is injured. You had a three. You actually had a big three, and it just now is just falling apart. Honestly, a big four if you count CJ, because CJ is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. But CJ McCollum's 33 years old with a almost $35 million cap hit, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't think he's your future. I don't want to stay too long on the Pelicans, but they're definitely just looking ahead to the draft and the offseason. There's going to be a lot of questions about what this team goes on for. I think they have a lot of potential to be good in the future. If they can keep Zion around and find some way to build with Zion, with maybe get Dylan Harper, have Dylan Harper at the 1, CJ McCollum at the 2. Your 3 is Trey Murphy, your 4 is Zion, and Yves Messi at the 5. I don't hate that starting 5. It's not a bad starting 5. If Zion's healthy, that's a great starting 5. Because you get DeJounte back next year, Dylan Harper can come off the bench as a 6-man to start his career. Learn from DeJounte. Or offload CJ. Dylan Harper can probably slide into a 2-man, into the 2 role. I like the idea of drafting Dylan Harper. Cooper Flag, I think, would be kind of a consensus that we're getting rid of Zion if you're a Pelicans fan. You're going to have to get rid of the Zion at that point. But that's here nor there. It's you got to look at it from the perspective of you still have Zion for now. Next team we're going to go to, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the Wizards. But let me make sure I keep my standings in order. I don't want to mess you guys up. Don't want no fans and fan bases coming at me because their team is the 14 seed, not the 15 seed. But I'm pretty sure the Wizards, how bad they've been this season, are most definitely going to be the 15 seed in the East. But I might be wrong. The Wizards did just pick up, I think, a good win the other night with Jordan Poole having 40. which just blew me out of the water. Yeah, the 15th seed is the Wizards. They're 9-45. The Wizards are, I don't know. This is a team I'm very, 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 very confused about. They can't draft for damn well shit. They can't draft. I'm starting to notice this. Jonas Valanciunas, they traded to the Kings. Traded Kyle Kuzma to the Bucks. Offload some of these contracts. Trying to let your younger guys play. I'm not mad at that at all. Alex Sarr has been having an up and down season. He's had a few really good stretches of double-doubles. I think he had like a 7-game stretch of having a double-double at a point this season. I like Alex Sarr, potentially your franchise center. That's fine. Don't do a Hornets thing and trade both your franchise centers and now having one of them that doesn't want to play for you because he got traded back to you, basically. But, top to bottom, the Wizards roster, words, bro, damn. The Wizards roster sucks. Jordan Poole is like your only bright spot. Bilal Coulibaly is one of the worst scoring forwards I've ever seen. They have him listed as a 2-guard on ESPN, which I don't understand that. But, top to bottom, I don't like this roster. Corey Kispert has had one of the biggest fall-offs in the history of three-point shooting for me. But I don't... now they have Chris Middleton's $31 million on the books. I think Chris Middleton is a player option after this year. He'll be 34 next season. If he picks up that player option, you got to offload the money somehow. I don't care what you trade. If you got to trade a first-round pick to get off of him for somehow, so you have the book somehow on him, I think you do it. You don't want to hold him for the whole season because he might, if he does play, he's going to have you guys win way too much if you're a Wizards fan. You want to be in the top of this draft class. You're definitely in the Cooper Flagg market. Cooper Flagg could change his franchise around. The DMV area would love some love from a player like that because they, haven't seen nothing like that since John Wall when they got him out of Kentucky, and it was just... John Wall didn't pan out. He was injury prone and just never stayed healthy, and that's just how it was. They don't, just figuring out that star situation is going to be tough. They also have Marcus Smart's money on the books. I don't know if Marcus Smart should play real minutes for them. He's 30 years old, could be on a championship contender. I heard rumors that they were going to buy him out. I don't know if that's is going to happen very soon. If they do, I hope he gets to sign with a contender. I'd love to see him sign back with the Celtics somehow. That'd be funny as hell. Be a fucking match made in heaven to get him back there. But I do believe that they're very close to... They're very far away in their rebuild. But they're very close to this Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. Unless some draft lottery bullcrap happens, they should at least get Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper. Those are my top 3 to think about. Don't want to stick on the Wizards very long. It's not a great team. Now we can go to the 14. We'll go to the 14 seed in the West, which I'm pretty sure is the Jazz. Yep, the Jazz. I was thinking about the game's on right now. I actually think they just lost to the Clippers. They lost 120-116 to the Clippers. The Jazz are a weird team. They're not young, but they're not old. The way I look at the Jazz is they're too old to say they're in a full rebuild right this second, but they're too young to say they're in a win now team. There's no move that I think that just puts them over the hump. Jordan Clarkson is 32 years old on your team. He's actually been getting starter minutes recently with a lot of injuries that have been happening. With Colin Sexton's out right now, I think. Isaiah Collier has shown a lot of potential out of USC. I'm not saying Isaiah Collier got overshadowed by Bronny or nothing at USC. Collier was a genuine scorer at USC. I think he was averaging 18 and 6 or something like that at USC. He was really good. Got drafted pretty high. I think he might have been a second-round pick or late first. I'm not fully sure on that. And really, this NBA draft is so much of a blur to me. But I believe he definitely is one of your future cornerstones. If he stays healthy, sticks around. I do like Isaiah Collier. I think he had 8 assists tonight. He's been on an assist freaking tear recently. One of the better passers in the league recently. John Collins is just... He's 27 years old. He's definitely having one of his breakout seasons, I think. I think he's showing that he's definitely a quality NBA player. He's $26 million, if I'm not mistaken, his extension was by the Hawks. I'm pretty sure the Hawks extended him. Is he going to be on your team on your championship run? So you got to think John Collins by age 30 probably will fall off. The athleticism will go. Defense will probably slow down. I don't think John Collins sticks around the team very long. Keontae George, Kyle Flipkowski, two young players I really do like. Both 21 years old. I think Flip could be a very good prospect for them. When he gets back healthy, rest up. I think I know he was out for a little bit. I don't know if he's back yet. Pretty sure he's not. Keontae George, he's a hooper. Comes off the bench. I would like to see Keontae start, but then again, the idea of a lineup with Keontae George and Isaiah Collier in my backcourt wouldn't sound good at all to me. If I was a Jazz fan, that defense is just terrible. Taylor Hendricks rested up. One of the better forwards, I think, in the league. When he's healthy, I think he's going to be one of the better defenders in the league. He's got a lot of potential. I'm really high on Taylor Hendricks. I loved him at UCF. I think he's going to be really good in the league when he actually gets real playing time and can be healthy. Johnny Juzang out of UCLA, not a huge fan of. He comes in for decent rotational minutes. He can definitely be a rotational piece. If he can consistently find a jump shot, he plays decent enough defense to be a 3-and-D for you guys. Would love that for Utah. Walker Kessler probably won't be on the Jazz next season. He probably will be traded next year at the deadline, or just won't re-sign. They won't. If the Wizards try to match it, the Wizards might match a contract each has to sign this offseason. Pretty sure he's a pending free agent. He hasn't been the worst center in the league. Hasn't been the best center in the league. He's just a decent rebounder, a pretty good shot blocker, with somewhat of an offensive bag. He's not my favorite center in the league. Then you got Lauri Markkanen. I've liked Lauri Markkanen ever since he was at Arizona. I just don't know if his timeline fits. He's also 27. It's also weird to me that him and John Collins are the same age. I feel like John Collins has been in the league so much less time than Lauri Markkanen to me. I just kind of forget about the early Hawks days of John Collins. They traded for KJ Martin, I'm pretty sure. Got him off waivers. Bryce Sensabaugh, pretty good young guard out of Ohio State. I like the idea of that. I could see him being on the team, being a good rotational piece for them for a little while. Colin Sexton, he's 26. Sexton's that player that you just say one thing about him. He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. Sexton's going to play hard for you every night. He's going to give you 30 minutes of the hardest basketball you've seen played. He might not score the best every night, but he's been playing really well. I think he's averaging 18 points a game this season. I'm loving Colin Sexton more and more this year. I don't wish the Cavs never got rid of him. Him and Darius Garland was one of my favorite backcourts, but Donovan Mitchell's a lot better than Darius Garland. So look back at it, it's a great trade. Or Donovan Mitchell's a lot better than Colin Sexton. My bad. I really like the trade a lot more then, but I love Sexton as a player. And also they also have Cody Lambs on the team. I'm pretty sure it's still really raw player coming out of Colorado. He didn't know really how to score. Doesn't really know when he needs to shoot. He's a very hesitant player. He doesn't play the best defense. He's very skinny for a 6'7". He's like $195 max. He's not heavy. And it's just harder to play defense in the NBA when you're that skinny. Wembanyama's a very freaking rare breed who can score at that will at that size and play defense at that size. Next is the 14 seed in the East. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it's the Hornets because I think they had like 2 wins from like November to early February or something like that. Some crazy stat like that. The Hornets are in shambles. LaMelo Ball is in and out of the lineup every other week. Brandon Miller barely plays. I don't want to break down every team fully and depthly. Mark Williams may never play basketball for them again. Diabate is on one of the best contracts in the league. Trying to think what you got to look forward to if you're a Hornets fan. You look at the draft lottery and hope you get lucky. Maybe you get Cooper Flagg and LaMelo as a duo of the future, but I don't know if LaMelo is a lifelong Hornet. I don't think many players want to be lifelong Hornets. Kemba got out of there and went ring chasing and didn't work. I think LaMelo could do the same thing, go out and ring chase. Get past them a little quicker than I should, but they're just not a good team this year. The 13 seed in the West. Now this is the thing with the West. The 13 seed in the West is actually really good to me. I like the Trailblazers a lot this year. They've beat my Suns a lot this year. They beat them twice in, I think, 3 days. Just going to pause on that for phone's sakes. Anthony Simons, I think, is the key to taking this team over the edge by getting rid of him. I know this team's been playing so well together. They win a lot of games that they probably shouldn't win. I love Shaedon Sharpe, athletic freak. Scoot Henderson, athletic freak. I think Donovan Clingan's going to be really good when he gets his time. I think Ayton might have to move if you want Clingan to really break out. But Ayton might fit their rebuild timeline. He's only 26. He'll be 27 at the end of the season. You weigh your options with that. I didn't like Ayton when he was on the Suns. He took us to a finals and got destroyed by Giannis. Just to move past them a little quicker than I would like, but they're on the up and up since the Damian Lillard trade. I think that they're slowly going to become a team that we'll be looking at in the next 5 years in the West as a decent team. But the West is so competitive because, your bottom seeds are still good. But then the opposite side, the Raptors, who are 17-38 as your 13th seed in the East, made a move for a win now type of move. I don't get it. Brandon Ingram is on the Raptors now with Scotty Barnes, Manuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Jacoby Walter, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that's really good at basketball. But whatever. Fluff that team. Brandon Ingram doesn't make you guys a freaking playoff team to me. It adds a little more scoring, but it takes the ball out of Scotty's hands more. It takes the ball out of Emmanuel Quickley's hands more. Doesn't let RJ Barrett run the offense anymore. It's really freaking weird. And you paid him almost $40 million a year. Why? I'm just going to move past it because they didn't trade Chris Boucher at the deadline like I thought they should have. They finally got off Bruce Brown, who just wasn't working for them. But just why? Brandon Ingram, he's 27, about to be 28. He'll be 31 when his contract expires. You're paying him $40 million when he's 31 years old. Who knows if Brandon Ingram's going to be healthy then? He's not been healthy a lot in his career. Just a bad trade for them. They didn't have to give up a lot to get him. It's just you're paying him so much money. And you look at the flip side, the 12 seed now in the West is the Spurs. The Spurs, Victor Wembanyama has had a really, really weird sophomore slump the past couple weeks. Can't shoot a damn free throw to save his life. I seen some graphic of his rookie season. He was or his rookie season or the start of this season or something, shooting 88% from the free throw line. He's shooting 51% right now, and they've been fouling him a lot more recently. Now, you're gonna have every player usually has a little bit of a sophomore slump. Whether it's a full season slump, some players have a 1 season or a 1 couple month slump. Maybe that's what Wembanyama is having, and I hope that does change. They just got De'Aaron Fox. Didn't have to give up on the young prospects. Talked about that in my last video. I do believe the Spurs have kind of raised the bar for themselves, but I know they just lost the other night to the Hornets with De'Aaron Fox. What are we doing? They got beat by, I think, 16 by the Celtics or 14 yesterday. It's just not a team I like right now. The Suns are just the same way, right above them. But they're the bottom of the West. They lost a lot of games that they could have won. I do think the Spurs' future's bright. Fox and Wembanyama are going to be a duo for a little while. I would love to see a nice wing to pair with that. Harrison Barnes is not that answer. Keldon Johnson's not that answer. I don't think Stephon Castle wants to be a true one. He's 6'6", 6'7", maybe. I don't know what tall Castle is off the top of my head. But he could play 3 minutes if you wanted him to. Have De'Aaron Fox run the 1, Vassell run the 2. Run Stephon at the 3. Sohan plays your 4. Wembanyama plays your 5. Not a bad lineup. Flip side, 12 seed in the East is a team that I thought's a lot worse than they are, but they also win games that they shouldn't all the time. They beat teams that they shouldn't. I think they beat Nets. It's the Nets. Sorry, didn't fully specify. they were definitely in a rebuild. They should have traded Cam Johnson at the deadline. I wish they had got off that money. They got off the money, and he's 27 years old. He's John Collins' age, and he hasn't been in the league that long. But it's probably time for it to give up on him. If you're the Nets, they beat the team that's right above them, the Sixers. It's both 20 and 34. The Nets, I feel like, are just a team that should be close to that 9-45 like the Wizards are. But they beat teams like the Wizards. They beat teams like the Hornets. They fight against the Rockets. That was like a week ago almost now that D'Angelo Russell hit the game winner against the Rockets. Rockets are up 7 with like 7 seconds left, and somehow ended up losing that game. Sounds like the Rockets though recently. Flip side, 12, the 11 seed, the Suns. My team, we're under 500 now. I did my trade deadline video. We were 1 game above 500 6 days ago now. This will probably be posted 7th. He posted about a full week from my last video, and it's just like, I don't know what we're doing as a franchise. Kevin Durant just hit 30K points. Yay. We still lost to the Grizzlies by 7. He scored 37. We are the laughing stock of the NBA at this point. Matt Ishbia ruined this freaking team. He put all his eggs in one basket by paying players like Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant so much money. Fired Monty Williams, then fired Frank Vogel, and then brought in Mike Budenholzer on a lot of damn money for the team just to be mediocre. I don't want to rant about the Suns all day. I could make a whole video on just the Suns about my sorrows as a Suns fan, but I'm not doing that. I'm just not. Flip side, 11 seed in the East, Sixers. A team I feel so bad for, night in and night out. Philadelphia fans are some of the worst fans I ever freaking meet, but, love y'all. Tyrese Maxey, one of the best young guards in the league, by far. Paul George sucks. There's no other way I can say that. Paul George is bad at basketball. He's horrible at basketball. Again, bad. I'm pretty sure he had like 4 points, like 3 rebounds, and 2 assists in 31 minutes yesterday against the Nets. Why are you even on the court? You're the only star in the game because Maxey got ruled out as a game-time decision. You let Kelly Oubre carry you, Paul George? Same person you crossed and tried to little bro back in the day? Get out of my face with that. That's just dumb. Jared Butler put up more points than you, bro? Like, come on. Jared Butler just got converted from a damn 2-way deal. It's a joke. Sixers are a joke. Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. Might as well damn well retire at this point. Hasn't stayed healthy a single damn time in his career besides his MVP season or the season when he got in Kawhi at the shot and made him cry. Let me not rant anymore about that. My bad. I don't want to shit on Sixers fans, but I don't know where your direction of your franchise is. Let Tyrese Maxey be the star and build around him then. The Warriors, a 10 seed in the West, just beat the Rockets tonight. Curry at 27, Pods at 18, Jimmy Butler I think at 19. Great game for the Warriors. They look good after the Butler trade. I think they're going to be on the up and up. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they hovered around the 8th seed all the rest of the season. They're a team you do not want to face in a 7-game series. They're a team you don't want to face night in and night out. Curry's on the court and Jimmy Butler's on the court, especially with Draymond on the court. Like, it's just like that's a team you just don't want to play night in and night out. They play hard. Their size is really their biggest issue. Loon Dog is just their only big man, and Trayce Jackson-Davis, but those are just not quality NBA bigs. Looney's fell off a lot since being a really good rebounder a few seasons ago. The Warriors are old, so it's either win now, like Curry said to Draymond, I guess, is that it's time, and it is, because Jimmy Butler's 33, going to be 34. Curry's 35, I think going to be 36, or 36 going to be 37. Draymond, I think, is 33. You got to win now. Win now. Flip side, Chicago Bulls are the 10 seed in the East. You could have told me that, and I wouldn't even known that. They traded Zach LaVine. Still have Kobe White. I have Dosunmu, Vucevic. Their future is very weird because I have Dosunmu, I think, is 25, 24. He's not old. He's not a young rookie. Was not a young rookie. Kobe White is 25, 26. He's going to have a really good contract, but you think he's due for an extension very soon. Vucevic should not be on your team still right now. You should trade him at the deadline. His trade value is now going to plummet next season because he's going to be on a contract year. The Bulls are very bad at getting assets. They don't have a lot of them. Their first-round picks, they got one of them back recently. The Bulls just need to hope for one thing is that the lottery gets lucky with them if they're in the lottery, if they end up eventually being in the lottery, and it's just like they're definitely not going to be the 10 seed when we wrap around the end of the season. I think the Bulls will fall off a cliff. Don't want to stay on them too long. Go watch Kenny KOT4Q if you really want to hear about the Bulls. Kings on the flip side, then the 9 seed, just lost to the Pelicans after beating them yesterday. Back-to-back games, 1-1 against them. Pelicans are a team you just don't want to keep playing. Trey Murphy went off, but Trey Murphy played well, and the rest of the team was just playing good. Sabonis had 22 and 28. 22 points, 28 rebounds. Sabonis is just... He's one of the worst. He just doesn't slide his feet well as a defender in the paint. Malik Monk has not facilitated well to start as the starting point guard. You know, the whole little situation with Fox, a little weird, a little bad blood turmoil, figuring things out. Zach LaVine had a really good night. I think he had 30. Had a 30 ball. Zach LaVine looks good on the team. I think he had 7 assists too. Zach LaVine's looking really good on the team. I think it fits actually kind of well, a lot better than I was thinking. DeMar DeRozan is turning the clock a little bit back. 22 tonight. And they still lost, though, so that's either a sign of their team needs to figure out their defense, which was fixed a little bit when Doug Christie came after firing Mike Brown, but defense kind of fell off now that you just traded Swipa, and then it seems a little different. It seems a little weird. And now the starting lineup, I think Keegan Murray fell out the starting lineup, so it's a little weird now as their rotation. Now it's a 9 seed, the Heat, who just lost to the Mavericks, where the Mavericks didn't have a single starter in the game. Dante Exum dropped 27. Dante Exum, the former Utah Jazz freaking player, Jesus Christ. Tyler Hero put up 40 and they still lost, and he missed the game-winning shot. The heave just wasn't enough. It's hard to like the Kings, or to like the Heat. Sorry. Bam and Tyler Hero are your two future, like, who you're building off of, and I don't know if you can build off Bam at this point. I think Bam's 28. Probably 27, 28. I just don't think you're building off of him. Mavericks are the 8 seed. They're not healthy right now. Kyrie's not playing all the time. Clay's not playing all the time. Daniel Gafford's going to miss 6 weeks. Derek Lively's out for some time. Their size is going to be a problem. AD's going to be out at least 6 weeks. Like, this team's going to be a very hard team to watch right now. They might fall out of the top 10 if they string out a few losses. But if they're bench players that can step up and win games for them, keep them to float around the 8 to 9 seed, just play-in team, they're going to be a team you're going to not want to face in the playoffs in a full series. They're going to have to survive the regular season and just die in the playoffs, like I was seeing people say. Flip side, I think the 8 seed, yeah, you know this already. The Hawks are the 8 seed in the East. The East sucks this year to me. The Hawks are going to slowly trickle their way out of contention for a play-in team, I think. I really do think that they're just not going to be a play-in team at this point. Trae Young's not going to be able to be the one to carry them. They traded DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson out for the season. They're relying on guys like Vic Krejci and Dyson Daniels to just be consistent scorers, and that's not going to work. Trae Young wants to facilitate, but he can't facilitate to people he doesn't have to play with. So you look at it from the side of the Hawks don't even own their own pick this year. So the worse they are, the better it is for the Spurs. I don't know. I'm a Hawks fan. How I feel. Timberwolves are the 7 seed in the West. The Timberwolves knocked off the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder today, 116 to 101. I don't know about Timberwolves. I was shitting on them a little bit in my video, at the end of my video I just made, the trade deadline video I talked about, but Anthony Edwards is a fluffing demon. Like, he had 43 nights in a row or something like that. Like, what the hell? He's playing out of his mind. Naz Reid played out of his mind tonight, I'm pretty sure. Didn't get to see the final stats in that game, but, like, he played out of his mind still. It's 17 when I checked. And I think that was in, like, the second quarter. I like where the Timberwolves are going. Edwards can easily carry them all the way back to the Western Conference Finals like he did last year. I guess I could just poop on the one player I poop on all the time. That's Rudy Gobert. I'm not a big Rudy Gobert guy. I'm never going to be. But 7 seed, it fits right now because they're such a bad stretch at a point. But I think this win over the Thunder going in the All-Star break is going to put a lot of momentum on the Timberwolves back. The 7 seed in the East, another team that just cannot play defense. The Orlando Magic. They were plagued by injuries. Now the team's getting healthier. And it feels worse to watch them. They were winning games that they shouldn't have won while they weren't healthy. So I look at it in the sense of, why is the defense so awkward now? Banchero's one of the better young players in the league. I'm liking Franz Wagner. I don't like much else. Jalen Suggs hasn't been healthy. Rest up, kid. Love Jalen Suggs. Their future is very bright. But for a team that came into the season, we probably thought they were in win now mode. We might have been overstepping a little bit. Because they're sitting 27-29. They're under 500. They're on a 1-game win streak finally, but it doesn't. The future doesn't. The current now doesn't look very bright. The future does, but right now it doesn't seem very bright for them. And when contracts roll around, it might seem even worse. The Clippers are the 6 seed. They just knocked off the Utah Jazz 122-116 and literally less than 30 minutes ago or so. I'm a big Clippers guy. I'm trying to be. I think Kawhi, Norman Powell, Zubac, Drew Eubanks now, Patty Mills I think's on that team now. There's a lot to be desired with that team, and it's like playing them in a 7-game series might be really freaking annoying for them. First year to get into it Dome, it looked really well. Their home record is a lot better than their away record, which is very telling. You know, the better teams in the league are very balanced both ways. I look at a lot of their losses, though. They're just... There's times where Tyronn Lue lets them get run out of the gym. And, like, he'll pull his starters quick. He has a quick trigger when he pulls starters sometimes. And I don't like that. A lot of, like, his back-to-backs, he pulls them like that. But, you know, Clippers are going to be a good team. I'd be scared to play them in a playoff series if I was any team in the West. 6th seed on the other side. This is a freaking... Jesus Lord, I was like 10 years old last time they were even a playoff team. The Detroit freaking Pistons. Now, you could say a lot of things. Well, one thing you can't say is Cade Cunningham's not a hooper. Cade has been phenomenal this season. I'm loving Cade Cunningham. His freaking passing IQ has skyrocketed. Malik Beasley has been playing a really exceptional basketball. Ausar Thompson's coming back from an injury and playing really well recently. Very giving you good, solid minutes. Jalen Duren fell off a little. He's still getting his rebounds. He was a double-double machine last year. It's kind of fell off a bit this year. Isaiah Stewart's still on their bench. Somebody I really think could have a lot more potential if he got more minutes. He gets way too many damn techs. But I'm fine with looking at that. If I'm a Pistons fan, I'm happy right now. Detroit's finally getting back in the playoffs. I think they're on a 4-game win streak to close out to the All-Star break. You can't ask for much more from a team like that who hasn't even like invested their money into another star yet. Just wait till they get Cade, somebody around Cade. The Pistons are going to be really good. Then you look at the 5 seed in the Western Conference. LeBron! Shout out Flight. But the Lakers, the 5 seed in the West. Luka Doncic plays for the Lakers. I watched his debut against the Jazz. Hated every second of it. Had him over 20 points. Didn't hit. We'll have to talk about that, Luka. Boom, done with it. But shout out my GOAT. Love LeBron. Got a little bit of a nice little find, nice little thrift find. McDonald's All-American LeBron James jersey. You know, father-son duo to play McDonald's All-American, him and Bronny. Bronny had 9 points the other night against the Jazz. I think it was yesterday. They go into the All-Star break off a loss to the Jazz. They beat the Jazz like a couple days before and it was a really good win. Convincing. And then they lose to the Jazz with... So, I don't know. People were freaking out a little bit on ESPN when I was looking at it. It's just they think that the Lakers are not going to be as good because of that. I think Luka's going to has to find his way with the team. He had 16 and 14 in his 2 games. Just give him some time. He had 5 turnovers, I think, today or yesterday. Just give him a little bit more time. Stop. We're not going to rush him to be good. That's just making things a little too quick for a player who just got there. And he's coming off an injury. So give him some time. The Lakers will be good. Wouldn't be surprised if they finish as like a 2 or 3 seed in the West. It's just going to be really hard to catch the Thunder, and I think nobody will. Thunder's the best team in the West by far. The 5 seed on the flip side is the Bucks. Giannis is going to be out. He's going to get reevaluated in, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. Damian Lillard's going to have to carry this team. He's shown before in Portland he could do that. Hope he can with this team. I don't know if Kuzma's what brings them over the hump to the finals, though. I do have a few things riding on them. I do think the Bucks were my Eastern Conference pick to come out of the East because they were playing so well at a point, and then I think I was just a little overzealous with that. I kind of went too fast. And they kind of fell off a little bit, lost a few games. They're a team that's going to be confusing at the end of the season. We'll see where they go. The other side, the 4 seed, the Rockets, just lost to the Warriors. They lost game to the Nets the other day. They were up like 7 or 8 on the Rockets the other night when I was watching them, or up on Timberwolves, my bad. And they let Anthony Edwards score 44 on them or something like that, 46. He just torched them obliterately in the second half, and they lose to them by I think it was like 12. They're up 8 and then they lose by 12, and like that's just obscene to me. One of the better defensive teams in the league usually, and they just can't stop anybody. Dylan Brooks is kryptonite to Anthony Edwards, it seems like, or Steph Curry, as seen tonight. The other side, the Pacers are 4 seed. That's so many bodies on that team. The Pacers are such a hard team to watch. There's so many players that can play minutes, and just you can't play them all. Tyrese Haliburton, also up and down player in the league. Siakam's been very consistent this year. I'm liking Siakam a lot more this year. Nesmith has still been playing well. Ben Shepherd's been playing well. Benedict Matthews been playing out of his mind off the bench the last 4 or 5 games. They lost the Knicks the other couple nights ago. The Pacers have good things going for them. They had a struggle game against the Wizards yesterday to watch. Had to come back on the Wizards by down like 17 or something like that. Might have been more than that. But, you know, nicely, they picked up a good comeback W right for the All-Star break. They're going to go on the All-Star break riding a little high. Team gets rested over the break, and I hope we see better things after the break for them. They're not a team I'm riding high on in the East, though. The East, you really have 4 choices out of the East that might make a run. And we'll get to that in a second. The opposite side, 3 seed, is the Nuggets in the West. Now, the Nuggets being a 3 seed in the West, their bench production is going to be their key factor. If the bench plays well in big minutes in the playoffs, then they're going to win games. They're going to win games confidently. Jokic has been out of this world. They're on an 8-game win streak going into the break. There's not a team I think that's riding higher than they are going into the break. So you look at it from the perspective of the Pelicans or the Nuggets, and you say, are they a finals contender? And you got to say, yes, they've been there. They were there 2 years ago and won. So you can't count Jokic out, can't count the former MVP, possible MVP this year, him or Shea probably. Not a bad team, not my favorite team though in the West. We're getting there. To the East, the 3 seeds, the Knicks. I'm scared of the Knicks if I'm the East. Any team, honestly. Cat has shown a lot of progress this season. Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart is the best two-guard rebounder I've ever seen. Deuce is Deuce. They need Mitchell Robinson back. I do like the idea of him coming back. Playing some 5 minutes, maybe moving Cat to the 4 for a bit. I did like it at first because he was playing really well as in that 5 role as a really good rebounder. Cat was averaging like 11.5 rebounds a game, which is been a while since you've seen Cat average that. Especially he was playing Rudy Gobert, he was playing a lot of 4 minutes. But the potential's high for the Knicks team. Next 2 or 3 years, don't be surprised to see New York Knicks in the finals very soon. The Grizzlies are the 2 seed in the West. The Grizzlies are confusing. They made one really weird trade at the deadline, losing Jake Olavie and a pick. Didn't pick up much. John Morant has not been healthy this season. Desmond Bane has been playing really well. Jaren Jackson has been playing decent basketball. I don't know where the team goes. They're riding a high horse a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10. I could easily see them dropping off a little bit. The Lakers could jump up to like that 2 seed area. Not going to touch on the Grizzlies very much. They haven't been doing any splashes before the deadline. They're just a very solid team overall. They win the games they should win. They lose games that they probably should lose. And that's a team you could be worried about in the playoffs if you play them in a 7-game series and they come in night out and give you hell. You could lose to them. The Celtics are the 2 seed in the East. Celtics are the best 2 seed in basketball. That's why the East is more top-heavy than the West is. Celtics, 3-game win streak to close it out. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They've been handing the Knicks their ass every time they play the Knicks. And the Cavs, too, actually. I think if you're the Celtics, you say this, let's not get somebody injured before the playoffs. You showed it last year. If you were the 1 seed last year, we've seen you guys can be dominant. We don't need to see that twice. Can you repeat? Can you go back to the finals? Can you win again? It's going to be the question. We're going to have to see that come to fruition. I still am very high on my Cavs, though. My Cavs are definitely my East team this year. We'll get to that in 2 seconds. But flipping over to the West, the 1 seed, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and that Oklahoma City Thunder team. Can we just give it up for Mark Daigneault as a coach? I think he has had a coaching masterclass with this Thunder team. I look at it this way. The Thunder have acquired so much assets. They have a really young team. It's one of those teams who you look at and you say, oh, what the hell? Why not go win a championship? They're this young. Why not go out there and fight for one? The problem with the Thunder are going to have to look into is the fact that if they don't win in this next 2 years, maybe 3, they're going to be paying Chet Holmgren. They're going to have to pay Shai more money than he's already probably making. They're going to have to pay Jalen Williams. I don't know what I'm going to look at contracts real quick, pull them up for y'all, give it a little bit of in-depth. I'm pretty sure Shai hasn't got a full extension yet, but I might be wrong. He did. He's making $35 million a year. Your 2 highest paid players on your team are Shai and Isaiah Hartenstein. So you look at that as a good thing. You're not paying a lot of people a lot of money. Isaiah Hartenstein's on a pretty good contract for the minutes he's going to give you. Chet Holmgren's on his rookie deal still, so you got those deals in place. You can make a big splash maybe for another star, which I don't think they need because it might mess up the team, but is an option. Jalen Williams is going to have to be paid. You're probably going to have to pay Caruso more money after the season. You're going to have to throw a little money at Aaron Wynn. Aaron Wynn is on a $10 million deal. He's got another 2 years. He might still be there. I guess the money situation is not as bad as I thought it would be. You got to think Shea's going to want an extension, so it might kill some of their money. But Shea might also be a team player. You know, we know Shea to be a little cockier than you think, but do what's best for you. It's all you always got to say to these players. You got to look out for you most of the time, not the team, and that's a problem sometimes. The game wasn't always all about money, but it has to be at this point. But we'll flip to the other side to finish out the video. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they made a perfect move to get DeAndre Hunter. Their defense has been out of this world since getting him the last 2 games. He started one, was benched the other. It's just crazy. The defense is so... Like, the Raptors, I think, were held to 12 points in the first quarter. Timberwolves were held to 17. The Cavs are just... Oh, my God, I love it. Darius Garland, my favorite player in the league by far, has been hooping. Donovan Mitchell's hooping. Evan Mobley's hooping. Jared Allen's hooping. DeAndre Hunter's been hooping. Max Strus has been hooping. Sam Merrill's been hooping. The Cavs are my pick to come out of the East. My Cavs are the picks to win it. The Cavs are my pick to win it all. To close the video, I'm going to leave you on that note. The Cavs will be in the NBA Finals this year. I do vow that. Argue with me in the comments. Give me y'all reasons why. Who y'all think are going to win the finals. Who think's going to go to the finals of the East and West. Give me y'all matchup. Give me y'all the dream scenarios. Give me y'all reasons why. Please and thank you. Leave it in the comments. I'd love to respond to y'all. But I think I'm going to close it out there for y'all. If there's anything I missed, please feel free to hit me. Break my pencil down. Let's argue a little bit. Because it's your boy who want to argue. We're going to be back next week with another video. We're going to dive probably into the NFL. Getting real close to free agency. Let's look at the top free agents and see their best landing spots. That's what we're going to do next week for y'all. But we'll be back. Peace out, y'all, and stay arguing, my brothers. Peace.